Investing in the stock market can be super overwhelming, especially for beginner investors. Investing in the stock market is a great way to preserve wealth, grow your wealth, and to beat inflation. Investing in the stock market needs to form part of your overall investment portfolio so that you can diversify in different asset classes. In this video, I'm going to attempt to simplify the investment world, especially for beginners, and share one specific fund that you can invest your money in no matter how experienced you are as an investor. This fund is a fund that I personally invest in, and is one of the best ways that you can grow your wealth, knowing that you won't lose any money if you are investing for the long term. With that said, the first thing you need to do is to open a brokerage account. The one that I'm currently using and that you'll see on the screen is called Brokestock, and you can go onto Play Store and simply search for Brokestock and download the application and follow the easy sign up process. I'll share a link in the description. If you use my link to sign up, I get a small incentive, so feel free to support the channel by signing up with my link. Once you have the app installed, we can click on the search bar and look for the ETF tab, and once we click on that, it picks up a couple of options, and the one that we are going to choose is called the STX 500. So if we click on that, we can see that it's called the Satrix S&P 500 ETF. This is something that I've talked about on the channel before, and I can't stress enough how easy it is to invest in this fund, knowing that you will receive a good return if you are invested for the longer term. With that said, we can see some historical returns on this specific fund, and if you invested your money 12 months ago, it will be up with a massive 39.17%. That means your 100,000 Rand would be almost worth 140,000 Rand in just 12 months. Just remember that this is for the last 12 months, and unfortunately the past is not an indication of what will happen in the future, but it is historical data that we can use to identify whether it's worth investing our money in that specific investment. So again, if you invested 12 months ago in the Satrix S&P 500, your return will be almost 40% in just 12 months. We can also see the recommended horizon for this investment vehicle, which is around 3 years. So this is the recommended time horizon for you to keep your money in this fund. And I would say that investing your money in the stock market should be a long-term game, and don't stress about the daily or weekly up and downs, because overall in the longer term, your stocks should go up. With that said, the risk level of this is around medium, which in my opinion is quite conservative depending on your age and goals. Currently, one unit is 103 Rand, so if you invest 103 Rand, you will own one share of the Satrix S&P 500. The cool thing is that you can buy fractional shares, so you can pretty much invest any amount that you have available, whether that's 100 Rand, 10,000 Rand, or even 1 million Rand. This is a fund that I personally continuously invest my money in. Every extra bit of money that I have, I'll push into this fund, knowing that over the long term, I will receive a good return. The Satrix S&P 500 is basically a combination of the 500 largest companies in the US. So technically, you are betting on America if you invest in this fund. Just to show you some of the top holdings of the Satrix S&P 500 is Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Google Class A shares, Meta, Google Class C shares, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, United Health Group, and Microsoft. These are just some of the top holdings of this fund. So instead of investing your money in Microsoft specifically, you are buying fractional shares in each of these companies, spreading your risk, and increasing your potential for greater returns. This is really such a cool way to invest because you know you can put your money in one fund and you get access to so many different industries and so many different companies. If we go back and we click on the different sectors, we can see that this fund is so well diversified. It has investments in the communication sector, real estate, information technology, utilities, industrials, materials, healthcare, consumer staples, consumer discretionary, financials, energy, and it has a cash portion. Imagine you had to invest in all of these sectors on your own. It's really quite difficult to pick the best stocks in each of these industries. So instead of doing all the work on your own, you can happily invest your money in one fund, knowing that it is spread out over a lot of different sectors, diversifying your portfolio, reducing your risk, and increasing your overall potential for good returns. This is simply the easiest way for a beginner investor to get started in the stock market. Again, download Broke Stock using my link, sign up with the platform and explore the application and start with whatever amount you have available. Whether it's 100 Rand or 200 Rand, just get started and keep learning, and no matter what happens, make sure that you have the emotional intelligence to avoid the daily up and downs in the stock market, so that you can be invested for the longer term. Investing in the Satrix S&P 500 is simply the best way to receive great returns without taking on too much risk. There's so many different ETFs or funds available, and if I had to recommend one, this is the best one to get started with, and try to research this specific fund to see whether this is something that will work for you. With that said, this is not financial advice, it's simply my opinion and what I would have done if I started. And like I said, this is exactly what I currently do to invest all of my extra money into this fund.